Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us right here on the Global Underwater Explorers YouTube channel. My name is Nico Liro, one of the hosts here on the channel, and I am joined today, as always, by the rock star over to my side, Mr. Michael Menduno.
Gonna tell you a story. Hey, Nico, how you doing?
It's great to see you, man.
Having an AC/DC moment, you know.
I can see you're still high from your holiday adventures, eh?
In Mexico, it was really excellent. I got to go down there with hang out with my colleague Christian Pellegrini, who's completing his K2 class with Stratus Koss, the author of Close Calls that we've talked about.
And you saw my beloved Imoca.
Yes, Imoca. Yeah, we got to hang out. We were both at a dive site. She had a couple of clients, but we got to talk, and I got a good selfie. I haven't posted my pictures yet. I've been too busy, but I'm going to. So it was a good trip. It was really interesting, inspiring. Gave me some ideas for new stories.
Yeah.
What was interesting? Out of 10 cave divers, 8 of them had side mount.
Oh. That's
per 10. I mean, I was like, wow, is back mount dead? You know, it really raised some questions. So we're going to address this in a future issue of InDepth.
I was about to say, you probably saw that and went, to be continued.
Right. Yep.
But I mean, speaking of Mexico on your holiday, I guess that's a good tangent, isn't it?
Good tangent to start in on. Let me ask you a few questions, as we always do. So how important would you say the underground waterways of the Yucatan, Riviera Maya, are to the local people and local economy?
Pretty important.
Absolutely. And how about to the international diving community? Actually, what was interesting is it's a mecca, right? There are people from all over the world there.
Literally.
This last week.
Literally. It's top of everyone's must do. It's in and about the top 3 things that people want to dive always if they haven't yet.
Yep. And you were just there, what, 3 months ago, a couple in the fall?
Bit more, last December.
Oh, well, that goes fast.
A year ago.
A year ago. So the question is, what would you say is the most immediate single threat to those cenotes in the waterway?
I know the answer to this one, my friend.
We need to come back and talk about this. It's really
we'll talk about this at the end of the video. Stay tuned, because the cenotes are not in a good state, and we need your help.
Yep, we do. So this issue, we call it the free issue. We are focusing this month on freediving. Our freediving brethren, our cousins, sister, tech diving sisters and brothers. What's really interesting to me about freediving is they've really operationalized their physiology, whereas tech divers can geek out on all their gear and the rebreather and how everything works. Freedivers geek out on their physiology, what's going on with them, how to get further, etc. So we have a package of stories that I think will be interesting for the whole dive community about freedivers. So we're starting out with a fun story, a frigid story. I'm actually wearing the shirt here, if you can see it. Freeze divers. These are people we have led by Sabrina Figliamini, GUE diver, who's also a scuba diver, and they are free diving under ice. They are cutting holes in ice in wetsuits and plunging into this water. And hence the name freeze divers. Yeah, I mean, how crazy is that, right?
No.
From the warmth of Mexico to the Arctic.
No.
They're channeling their inner Wim Hof, and just getting down there into the. It's pretty dramatic. So we have some great pictures of them. One of Sabrina licking the ice from underneath.
It's all fun and games, and then your tongue gets stuck to the ice, and then you're really buggered.
Oh, look, frost.
Right. Anyway, that's story 1. Story 2, we asked the question, do freedivers get bent? long time ago, the answer was not really. But now, as there are more and more people freediving, as the top athletes are pushing 100 meters, certainly on no limits, they're pushing hundreds of meters, and people are and safety divers in competitions who go up and down their protocols to prevent DCS. But in fact, it happens. We have a great piece by Riley Fogarty looking at kind of what we know about freediving DCS. Really, if you think about it, all the decompression algorithms we have on dive computers really aren't really applicable to freediving. It's a very different kind of dive than a compressed gas dive where you're loading at depth. Here, you're taking all your gas at the surface and just holding your breath, basically.
Yeah,
so
literally, it's a sawtooth, isn't it? Whoop, whoop.
Yep, and much faster ascent rates, right? People are ascending at a meter a second, so fast rate, compared to compressed gas divers. So, really interesting piece. A couple months ago, we ran that great story about biometrics with Dr. Maroney from Dan Europe. So now there's a freediving company, Oxama, and they make basically a biometric sensor for freedivers. It not only looks at your blood saturation, your heartbeat, but also depth and time and ascent rates. And what's unique about this computer, we call the story "Listen Up." It's got an audio interface, so freedivers are in position. You don't want to be futzing with gauges and look. So this computer actually, you set it, and it tells you what's going on with you. It speaks to you at depth. So quite interesting profile of that. And then we've dropped in on freedivers will know this. Maybe a lot of the tech community won't. But last month, Ted Hardy, a very well-known freedivers instructor trainer, was on the national team, etc. Former record holder. Put together a freediving summit, interviews with more than a dozen of the top, the world, William Trubridge, Alexei Machinov, etc., Kirk Kroc, etc., James Nestor, who wrote Breathe and other freediving books. So we sent two of our reporters, Dean Laffin and Charlie Stringer, to kind of cover the conference. We have a really interesting piece by Dean on competitive safety diving protocols. Freediving as a whole is not so safe. Most of that is because most of the divers, probably 90%, are untrained. They're just doing it, and so aren't doing the safety protocols. Competitive freediving is super safe. There have been 2 fatalities in the last more than 20 years, only 2 fatalities, etc. So this talks about how they keep their safety protocols and how they work, basically, at competitions. And then Charlie has done, freedivers kind of had the reputation of hippy-dippy backpacker, vegan yoga people. And in fact, many of them are hippy-dippy, vegan yoga. So Charlie wrote a piece about, how some of the top athletes deal with the pressures, not just from depth, but from competition, having to compete. So a really interesting piece. We have some resources on technical freediving, which is yet to come, but it's coming. This is pre-breathing nitrox mixes instead of air to boost your oxygen, blood oxygen levels, and hopefully minimize the risk of hypoxia and extend your dive time. And something from Chantel Newman from the UK, a freediving medical response course, a new course that Dan has that they're working with. So it's quite an interesting package. I think tech divers will like it, and I think freedivers will like it as well. So, yep. So story package 1, and you're going to see some more themes like this in InDepth going forward. Number 2, we do a deep dive really into the life of tech pioneer Tom Mount, who passed away just recently, last month. And he really brought considerable depth and experience to technical diving. I read a lot of the nice tribute pieces to him. This piece is by Simon Pridmore, very interesting piece. really gets into Tom's deep background before he was at IANTD, International Association of Nitrox and Technical Divers, and teamed up with Dick Rakowski. That's the period from the like early 1990s that people know him from. So this really gets into his background, working with NASA, working as the director of scientific diving for the Rosenstein School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences in Florida, his cave diving. So it's really a good read, and I learned stuff that I didn't know about Tom. So it was really it was really
always
good.
Thought his name was really apt considering he's a technical diver. Mount.
That's right. Yeah, and that INTD was the first technical training agency in some ways to adopt mixed gas. Hal Watts, of course, had Professional Scuba Instructor Association, but they came into mix later. Eventually, they did,
right.
And then other organizations, TDI and Andy, kind of continued as well. So
sure.
Anyway, piece of history, and then last we have a great piece by Gareth Locke called "Do Bad Apples Actually Exist?" And this looks at the question is, do systems tend to drift and end up with not good results, failures as a result of bad apples spoiling the barrel? Or is it really more of the environment? Does the environment create bad apples? And so Gareth goes through a pretty interesting analysis, offers some remedies, and applies it to dive training. Of course, that's what we look for in this article. So, so I think it'll be a good issue, and I hope people enjoy it.
Sounds great, mate.
Too. Yeah,
but before you leave us, we need to go back to our top story.
Yeah, the Yucatan. So what's happening is, for those who don't know, the Mexican government is planning to build a train from Cancun to Tulum, which is about an hour and a half drive. Originally, they were going to run it along the highway, where there's a corridor. They had problems with construction, including a sinkhole formed. Because the whole Yucatan is just a thin layer of limestone over water.
Yeah, river, so why not do it right over jungle then?
So because of politics and money and the hotels that kind of control the Corridor Strip, they're going to put it in the jungle right across on top of the cenotes. And what their plan is, because how are this fragile ground going to support a train? They're going to drive pillars to hold up the train tracks for a great distance. I should know how many kilometers it is, but I don't off the top. But
it doesn't matter. It's more than one. It's more than 1 kilometer, and that means it's more than one level of stupid.
Yeah. So there's no environmental impact statement being done, and people come for the cenotes, and it's the water supply. So it's mind-boggling why they would want to do this.
This annoys me on so many levels, because it's the age-old argument of money today and not thinking about tomorrow. Like, I've seen this throughout the 10 years I was living in Asia, and people didn't want to protect the sharks, and then they're wondering why the shark tourism's going down. It's like, because you fished them all, you wallies. It's exactly the same thing going on here. It's like, oh, why don't people want to come and dive the cenotes anymore? Because you've crushed them.
Right.
Exactly. You dumb.
Yeah. So
it's crazy. Crazy.
It is crazy.
How corruption and it spoils the mind. Like, stupid.
Yes. So we're offering, we've people have written some very excellent stories and analysis of this. Natalie Gibb from Under the Jungle in the Yucatan, others. And so we've linked to these stories that are already written. And then there's a petition that people can sign. We need you to sign a petition to go forward with that. And also, I should say, I spoke to Dan Orr, who is on the policy committee of DEMA, the Diving Equipment and Marketing Association. Yeah. So they are going to take this issue up with the DEMA board and maybe get DEMA on board as well to try to stop the train. So that's what we're doing. Stop the train. Yep.
It makes me so angry. So I think we should end there before I say anything I'll regret.
Right? Yes. So
you're talking about the article being free, as all your issues are. Where can people find it, and when is it available?
Yep, it will be out next Thursday, March 3rd. You can find it at indepth.blog or gue.com/blog. And it's a free subscription. Sign up and you'll get our stories in your inbox. And yeah, we'll go from there.
We shall go from there. And as always, guys, if you do like the channel, please be sure to like the video, share the video, tickle the notification bell. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, as I said, so you know whenever we've got a new piece of content coming out. I'm getting muddled over my words today because I'm clearly very angry about Mexico. But yeah, Michael, thank you as always for taking the time to do this. It sounds like a great article, as well as being a slightly frustrating one with the Mexican news. But we'll see you next month. And I hear you're going off to do some diving now, so enjoy that.
Yes, the harbor cleanup at Catalina Island with Zen Dive. So we're part of the Zen Dive team. Yep.
Sounds great, mate. Well, we'll see you on the next issue, yeah?
All right. Bye, everyone.